Yesterday it was the United Kingdom, today it was Brussels. Europe is rolling out the red carpet for Zelensky, even if they won't give him or his country an EU membership anytime soon. And now the tour has been overshadowed by a major exposé. The United States bombed the Nord Stream pipelines. That's the claim made by Seymour Hersh, a Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative journalist, the same one who exposed the My Lai massacre in the Vietnam War. And now he says America bombed Russia's pipeline to Europe. This could change everything. Zelensky is running out of time. Ukraine says a major Russian offensive is imminent in this month, and it wants all the help it can get. But Europe is dragging its heels. Tonight, we've put together the most comprehensive report for you. We'll start with the Nord Stream revelations. Do you remember these pictures? This is the Nord Stream pipeline. It was leaking last year. The Nord Stream is the lifeline of Europe. In fact, these are two pipelines, the Nord Stream 1 and 2. They were bombed last year. In September 2022, a series of powerful explosions were reported. Both pipelines took the hit. Initially, fingers were pointed at Russia, but there was no credible evidence. Now, a new report has emerged. It says the pipelines were bombed by the US. This is a 5,000-word report. We've managed to put together a summary, and here are the 5 big takeaways. Number 1, the bombing was a covert operation. It was carried out by the CIA. This is according to the report. Takeaway number 2, the US used deep-sea divers for this mission. They mobilized during a NATO military exercise. That NATO drill, was used as a cover. Takeaway number 3, mines were planted along the pipelines. They were detonated remotely. Takeaway number 4, the CIA worked with Norway to bomb these pipelines. And takeaway number 5, the orders came from the very top. US President Joe Biden ordered this operation. And that perhaps is the biggest takeaway from this report. Did Biden sabotage Europe's gas lifeline? All of this is based on an investigation by journalist Seymour Hersh. He's broken some big stories in the past, like the mass murder of 500 civilians by American soldiers in Vietnam. This was in 1968. Hersh has exposed governments and presidents in the past too. But some of his work has also been criticized for lack of evidence. What about this latest report? Does he have evidence this time? Washington says he doesn't. The US government has rejected the report. They're calling the claims preposterous. The US State Department issued a statement. I have a copy with me, and this is what it says. I'm quoting, "The idea that the United States was in any way involved in the apparent sabotage of these pipelines is preposterous. It is nothing more than a function of Russian disinformation and should be treated as such." Of course, Russia doesn't agree. It wants an international probe into the Nord Stream blasts. The Russian foreign minister says he's putting together a report himself.
We are also preparing a kind of report into what has happened over the past year and what we managed to uncover. It is not just on US military biological programs that they're trying to make out they don't have anything to do with, lying as they always do. And it is not just about the US being directly involved in the explosions on the Nord Stream pipelines. Mrs. Nuland has already pleaded guilty to it. So there are many things we can remember to show the methods that the United States uses to achieve dominance.
These claims will cast a shadow on Zelensky's Europe trip. He began the visit yesterday. The first stop was the United Kingdom. Zelensky got the full royal treatment there. He met with King Charles. And then he sat down with the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. His final stop was Westminster Hall. Quite a grand setting there. Zelensky used this opportunity to do what he does best, make more demands. He relaunched his campaign for Western fighter jets. In fact, the former actor pulled a bit of a stunt here. He brought a fighter pilot's helmet with him. What for? To present it to the Speaker of the House of Commons. The House of Commons, of course, is the lower house of the British Parliament. Full marks for the showmanship. It was followed by an appeal.
We have freedom. Give us wings to protect it. I trust this symbol will help us for our next coalition of the planes, and I appeal to you and the world with simple and yet most important words. Combat aircrafts for Ukraine, wings for freedom.
Wings of freedom. That was Zelensky's appeal. Did it work though? To some extent it did. The UK has begun looking into sending combat aircraft to Ukraine. They're looking at the possibility. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak says nothing is off the table, but his friends in Europe may not share his enthusiasm. Zelensky's next stop was Paris. He met with President Macron of France and Chancellor Scholz of Germany, both in Paris. These two leaders, Macron and Scholz, hold the key to unlocking the fighter jets. So Zelensky repeated his demand. Well, they offered support, but not the jets. No commitment on giving Ukraine fighter jets.
Et donc nous sommes heureux de t'accueillir ce soir ici et le chancelier Scholz me rejoint ce soir.
Its European partners and its allies to win the war. Russia cannot and must not win.
We have also provided Ukraine with massive financial, humanitarian and weapon support, heavy artillery, air defenses and most recently the delivery of battle tanks. And we will continue to do so for as long as necessary.
A few hours before making that statement, Scholz was in the Bundestag, the lower house of the German parliament. Here he launched a scathing attack. The target was Germany's Western allies, more specifically the United States. Listen to what he said there, and I'm quoting, "We preserve and strengthen this cohesion by first preparing decisions confidentially and only then communicating them, the decisions. What harms our unity is a public competition to outdo each other along the lines of battle tanks, submarines, aircraft. Who is asking for more?" This is the German Chancellor. Reports say Scholz was referring to his cooperation with US President Joe Biden. This was about the decision to supply tanks to Ukraine. Why is the German leader upset? Is he unhappy with America's approach? Well, he didn't say that. Guess he didn't have to.